All right, I think we were on live, so I'm watching. It's taking a moment for my computer to catch up here. My name is Kim. I'm an integrative life coach. I help massage therapists, health and wellness practitioners integrate coaching in their practice so that they can help their clients heal on a deeper level. My guest today is Christy, so I'm going to allow Christy to introduce herself. Christy, you want to go ahead and...
Yes, hello. I'm so excited to be here. My name is Christy Waltrip. I have been a massage therapist for over 15 years and a massage therapy educator for 10 years. I'm currently working in the corporate education world that also is blended in with massage therapy programs. And I teach continuing education to licensed massage therapists. And Kim and I work together, and I am really excited about the movement that I feel is happening with massage therapists right now. I'm talking to a lot of massage therapists who are ready to make a transition or change after about 10 years in the industry. I'm hearing the same stories, and it's really exciting to me because I felt that same way going into about 10 years of my massage therapy career. But really, what we talk about is for anyone, someone just coming out of massage school, or someone who's been in the industry like me for years, and like Kim, who's ready to transition to something new, or who wants to take their massage therapy practice or career outside of just being in a room with a table and the client. There's so much more available to us. And I'm really excited that we've been talking about that lately.
What are you seeing is, oh, welcome, Christy, by the
Hey,
way.
yay!
I'm also a massage therapist,
Yes.
health coach, life coach, yoga teacher, hypnotherapist, and all of the mind body modality things. And what I noticed, even as a massage therapist, is to really help our clients on like a long-term transformation,
Mhm.
is to help them with the mental and emotional aspect also, not just the physical. And so I'm curious about you, like your years of experience as a massage therapist, also as a massage therapy educator. So you're a CE provider and you also educate at the massage therapy school, like in training. So
Yes.
I talk a little bit about when do you see that happening, that change where they want more, where they want to lead out? You're saying like at that 10-year.
Yeah. Well, I think it's two places. I think one place when they start to feel that, hey, I think I'm ready to go to the next level. I think that can happen anywhere from 1 to 3 years after they've established themselves with a clientele, whether they're working with someone or they're working for someone as an employee. That's a place where you feel like it starts to wake up within you a little bit. That's when I felt the call to actually go back to the school and say, hey, I think I want to be part of massage therapy education. I didn't really say it that way. I just wanted to be an assistant. I wanted to get back to that place of massage therapy education and brand new people learning how to do massage therapy. Another pivotal point, I believe, is anywhere from 7 to 10 years and above, because that's the point where our bodies start feeling it. And we start to recognize that clients are coming to us and saying, hey, I'd like you to get this, I'd like you to put some motion into my neck, but I'm only going to come a couple of times a year. And that is when the therapist starts to say, I think I'm seeing a pattern here. I'm seeing a pattern of some clients not committing long term to their health and their body and their mind, that mind body connection. They don't know that the mind body connection is connected within our muscle tissue and that can affect us physically. So I think that when I'm talking to therapists that have been doing it for 7 to 10 years or more, they are really starting to see that shift then and start to think there's got to be a different way because I'm tired. and yeah.
It's recognizing that, like, it's repetition, right? So it's like working with the same clients over and over and the same problem over and over, and then we get to know our clients on a personal basis. So as we're building that relationship, and then we start putting the dots together of what's going on in the environment at home, what's going on with the repressed emotion or the unhealed trauma, or like we can see from the other side the story that keeps coming up, and we put the pieces together like, oh, like, is it coincidental that this is here again, because 2 years ago when this happened, we saw the same theme. And so it's almost like coaching already, where you're able to hold that space because we have the evidence, we have the experience that we can reflect back to them. It's not that we give advice or that we like go in and try to magically know behind the scenes what's going on. It's not that way at all. It just, it naturally happened in the relationship, connecting the mind, the body, and seeing that it was the disconnection, or it was actually the circumstance that continues to trigger it. And I think that's why it's time for massage therapists to really recognize our place in the industry as mind body leaders.
Yes. And there's also, it's so interesting when they come with that same story. The massage therapists that I talk to, they have the same exact story. It's the same narrative, but they're confused by it. Just like I was confused by it. I'm like, why am I feeling this way? And can I do anything about it? Or do I just need to leave the industry altogether? So that is some of the confusion. And that's why I think it's so awesome that we're shedding light to that. Like, hey, if you're feeling this way, it's totally okay, because you're not alone. You're not alone. There's other massage therapists that feel this way too. And there's other things that you can do and still stay in the massage therapy world.
Mm-hmm. That's the part that I hear too is, so I was talking to a therapist, I guess a couple of weeks ago, and she was saying how she really loves it because you don't get into massage therapy like coincidentally. I don't think it's like we already have that, like that draw to people, and we are helpers. You know, we're probably, I want to say this, it's going to sound negative, but I don't mean it in that way. We're probably one of the highest cases of codependency because we're willing to use our physical body in order to help someone else feel better. If you really think about codependency and people pleasing and helpers, that's about the highest form of, like, I will literally get on the table and use my body in order to help you relieve pain from your body.
Yes.
Pretty intense, right?
Yes, it is. And like you said, the intention when we go to massage therapy school, you don't hear, well, why do you want to become a massage therapist? Because I want to be a millionaire. You don't hear that. You hear, because I want to help people.
Yeah.
And that's it. And sometimes we can go down the rabbit hole with that, where we're just helping the person, and our needs and our wants and our growth is put on the back burner until sometimes it disappears completely. And we wake up one day and we're like, what the heck are we doing? What am I doing in this career? I'm not feeling fulfilled. What can I do?
I need to bring myself back into the equation.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. How about you, Monique? Welcome, by the way.
Hey, Monique.
So let me just
plug
this in first. Hold on a second. So Monique is also a massage therapist. Christy's a massage therapist. I'm a massage therapist. So I want to just kind of lay the foundation here because I feel like I kind of skipped that part. We're talking about the mind-body connection with like in the service-based business, service-based industry, but especially with body workers, yoga teachers, massage therapists, Pilates teachers, like in those modalities where we help with the physical problems. And Monique is one of the integrative life coaches who came through my program, and so is Christy. And the podcast that was published this week is called More Than Massage, where I interviewed Christy and the work we've been doing together and the work that she's doing out in the world with massage therapists, helping to empower and I'll say create, find, build, grow more CE providers.
Yes.
And Monique has been working with me for a few years, and we did the same exact work with her also. Monique, do you remember the numbers of the podcast that you were interviewed on? Do you remember what numbers they were?
I think my massage one is 66. 104 and 106, I think I'm on those, and maybe another one, but I'm not sure anymore.
Okay.
There's so many now. They're good though.
Look through
but yeah, 66 for sure. I know is massage.
Okay. So I'm sorry for interrupting you, but if you hadn't introduced yourself.
No. I love to know where we're at because I came on a few seconds late. So, I like to be lost. And I want to piggyback off of what Christy was talking about and what Kim was talking about. For me specifically, it was kind of the same thing. I was a massage therapist and I was in this great multi-million-dollar spa. And I had been working on these hair clients and these aesthetic clients and these barber clients for years. I mean, I knew them inside and out. And I started touching their physical bodies, you know, when I would do scalp massages and pedicures and things like that. And I kind of noticed this repetition of story on certain people. When I touched parts of their body, they would talk about the daughter or the son or the boss, and they would relate it to a person, but they weren't even aware that they were doing it. It was like I would go into a shoulder blade and I would hear, "Ugh, my son did that thing again." And they start telling me the story. And I was like, oh, how interesting. What is she carrying here? What is she holding here? Right. And then, of course, you know, doing the work and learning the information and reading into the material, the body keep score, the TMS understanding, all of those things, it just all started to make sense on a different level. And I knew there was something more. And in that space, I was like, okay, Kim, I've been hearing you talk this crazy language for a little bit now, and I wasn't really aware of what you were talking about, but I know there's something to it. And it was just like a magnet. I was just kind of drawn to it. And I think that's why I trusted it so much, because it felt so pure and right in my body. And I didn't have access to feelings. So it was almost like a miraculous, like, drawing in of this is where I'm supposed to be today, you know? And so I just went all in. And I have from day one. I've had very little resistance in this. I'm just like, tell me what to do, give me the information, let me do the research. I'm an investigator by design. It's been really helpful to let me get all this information. I've got hundreds of books, and I just started seeing it everywhere. And when I started applying the techniques in my life and seeing the differences physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually that I felt, I was like, if I can do this, anybody can do this. Because I think I'm a unicorn. I thought I was a unicorn. I thought nobody had my story. And then I realized we all do. Kim, you're muted.
Our internet is not on the same wavelength. So I'm,
Oh no.
because or is it me, Christy, or is it hers? It's not completely synced.
I see you in sync.
Okay. All right. So it is like, if I could see this, anyone can see this, or if I can do this, anyone can do this. Kind of. There is some pre-work. There is some awareness that has to be had. There is, like, most of us, most individuals, most humans are not fully in their body. We, like, if we were to really look at the ones who are suffering mostly with chronic pain or undiagnosed chronic issues, any of that stuff, from my experience, and I've worked with lots of people. I've been in the mind body work for a lot of years, you know, with yoga, fitness. I've had a gym since ladies fitness gym since 2000. Lots of it. Let me just say this. Here's what I see. Highly intelligent, strong, competitive individuals that keep getting these physical issues and are not aware of the mind-body connection. So I don't know that anybody, I don't want to argue it at all, but I'm just saying, I think that we have to want to see it. So, and I'm saying this very protectively. I want it to come off in a way that is supportive, because I want it to be in a way that, by design, we are not all meant to reach this certain capacity that we expect other individuals to meet. I've just really started settling into this, because I very much came out like a wrecking ball, man. I just wanted to crush chronic pain. I wanted to crush depression. I wanted to crush suicide. I wanted to stop any human from ever serving that way ever again. And y'all know that because y'all were there. I was very strong about it. And I see things a little different now. And it has to do with our suffering was so intense that we project, reflect like that, thinking that everyone is suffering in the same way, but without the awareness, they are not. And that blew my mind to really sit with that. Like they're having a grand old time. Sometimes ignorance is bliss. And I can see that in my own life. Ignorance
I
was
can,
bliss.
and I can see that in several people that they are very content where they are. And I don't want to cast judgment on their lifestyles by any means, but I also know that there's a lot of people out there that do want change and they don't know how. And they're asking the questions. And it's like, I want to shed light and say it is available. There is, yes, we have to have some background understanding. We have to start building that bridge. You can't just jump off the cliff. It's like you have told us 1,000 times, your nervous system will just shut down. Your mind will not allow it. So we obviously don't want to go full force wrecking ball with people. We know that that doesn't serve anymore, So it's like, but it's also offering that information and shedding that light on this is an option that we didn't know where was available at one point. And so other people may not know it's available. And so even if it's not something that you would need, maybe there's someone that you know that's looking for this type of information or this kind of work. This is the community, I think, for those people to just see the opportunity available, to see hope, because I felt hopeless for years. I was sure there was no way out of this and I was stuck, and it was painful. And yeah, that reflection that I see in other people asking this is painful.
What we can offer is to continue to expose it. But that is not how I was coming at it at first. I thought everyone should experience this liberation. Everyone should experience this freedom in the body and this ease in the mind. This ease in the mind. And like, I was like, why wouldn't everyone want this? And I suffered trying to make everyone want this. I'm just really settling into that awareness now and minding my own damn business. And at the same time, showing up boldly and saying, you can self-heal. It's available. It's in our Christian background. It is in the Bible. It has been like, this is the gospel. This is the gospel. You do not have to have the badge. You do not have to have the robe. You do not have to have the guru. It is within each and every one of us. I feel like I'm going on a tangent here, but I don't know what it was that struck me, Monique, but it was like, here it is. Like, I really want to kind of scuba dive, into that, because we're talking to some massage therapists who haven't gotten here yet. They haven't had enough experience and enough clients to see that same problem is more of an energy-based problem, more of a mentally based problem, more of a conditioned problem. How about you guys? What's been your experience with that?
Well, if I could just talk about, I guess, or share what I was going through at that 10-year mark was feeling like, okay, I've done all of the things in the practical world. So I taught, and then I feel like I had a successful practice. So all of the things looked right on the surface or on the outside. It looked like I had a good level of success as a massage therapist, but yet I was still unfulfilled. And I felt that there was something that I wasn't tapping into or something that I wasn't aware of yet. So that's when I got in contact with you, and we started talking for a while. And I would say it was like over a 2-year period that I was feeling drawn to your work, but I didn't fully dive into it until sometime later. And then that's when I went through the coaching training myself. And then I was able to implement and integrate all of the other things into that coaching practice, as far as working with other massage therapists who are going through that same journey. So we can help them the same way that you helped me. I had all of these visions, but there was a lot of confusion there and a lack of clarity, because I didn't understand where this calling was coming from, or what it was leading me to,
Or where it was going,
or where
right?
it was going. And I think I know that's what a lot of massage therapists are coming to me with. They're like, I want to do this, but I don't know what it would look like. How do I get there? Do I even deserve to get there? Do I need another certification? Do I need to go to school for something else? What do I need to do? Who has to tell me that this is okay? That's really the bottom line. Who has to give me permission and tell me that this is okay for me to go for this?
Yeah, I love this. I love this inquiry. So it goes back to the thinking we need more certifications, thinking we need the label, thinking we need the robe, we need to be ordained in order to do this work, right? So at the same time, I will say this in particular requires training. It requires a
Absolutely.
reset of perception. It requires being in an environment where you are releasing all of the indoctrination. That is not true. Start with the 4 agreements. Just start with the 4 agreements, because the very beginning of it is about like you didn't decide where you were going to live. You didn't decide on your religion. You didn't decide on your name. You have just been like birthed and brought into this individual that you think you are. And so much of that is not aligned with the deeper, richer soul aspect of you, the characteristic of you, the true self. And so I see the dissonance as there's this burning desire to serve and to help. And then there's this system, this homogenized system, these rules that are telling you how you can do that.
Yes.
And that shit ain't working. That's what I see. And so the permission is to serve, right? It's to contribute, and it is to create. And it is all about connection and relationship with ourself, with our body. We didn't have a relationship with our body. We turned that shit off. We didn't have like the whole thing, the indoctrination is like, you got to put Jesus first, then others. Then if there's something left, you can have time for yourself. Well, yeah, that's nice. Go out and try to serve as a broken individual. That's who ends up on our massage table. That's who ends up in my coaching calls. That individual who is here to contribute at a higher capacity and can't because their physical body keeps screaming at them and they don't know why. And it's because of this repressed stuff that's locked up in the body that keeps bubbling up in order to have a better outcome. It's not about the success and the money. It's not about the trophies and the prize. It's about the bubbling up. It's about the opportunity to come back to wholeness so that you can live life. We haven't had permission to live life. It's all seriousness and you better work hard and you better like protect yourself. And that's the stuff we've been conditioned by. This is what we are seeing as massage therapists in our clients' bodies. It's not because their physical body is broken. It's not because of age. It's because of belief. And I'm on a mission to bring more massage therapists in that want to be part of this mind-body movement of bringing emotional resilience or emotional wellness, emotional maturity into their lives so that they can have a full experience, feeling it, not running, not hiding, not ejecting, not suppressing, but fully feeling and being liberated of all of that conditioning that doesn't align. And at the same time, if it aligns, if what you were taught works for you, if you feel healthy and happy and you feel liberated to be yourself, then keep that. You happen to land in the right pod. You were the pea in the right pod that was planted where you were aligned to grow. Beautiful. Not the case for many of us, though.
Yeah, it's kind of like what both you and Monique were saying, talking about, in my mind, I'm thinking that this type of work is not for everyone. I mean, being a massage therapist isn't for anyone. I think it takes a real rare, special breed of a person who wants to go to school to rub on people. It's just, we're different. We're different and it's okay. And I would always tell my students, embrace that. Embrace I say weirdness, because I believe that we're different, and not everyone that goes through massage therapy school is going to have, we all come in with different intentions, first of
That's
all,
right.
to go to massage therapy school. We all have a reason that we want to do it. Yes, we all want to help people. We get that. But then it gets a little more specific. So then it starts to change for people. Sometimes people go to massage therapy school and they're like, this isn't for me. I know this isn't for me. I'm not having a good time. I'm not enjoying this. I'm going to get my certification and then I'm going to go do something else. And then you have some that are thinking, well, I went through this, so I might as well try it. I want to see if I can make a go of it, but their heart's not really in it. And then you have people where, like me, when I got my first massage, I was like, this is it. This is what I've been looking for. I'm not a career gal, but I just found it. And I went all the way. And going all the way meant no matter how I felt or what was going on, I was going to stick with it and claw and fight my way until I felt good about what I was doing, where I was working, whatever practice I had, and I was never going to stop learning. And I'm still a student today. So I find that and this is with anything in life, that the more that you're clawing and the more that you're digging and the more that you're pursuing your purpose or your happiness, that those numbers get smaller and smaller. So the ones of us, so there's a lot of massage therapists that get out there for a while, but then they leave the industry because they're thinking, okay, I'm not having any success. I don't feel the confidence to speak up about who I am and what I do and who I want to help. This isn't working. I'm out. And then you have those that stay within the industry for several years, but they never reach that level. And that's where I was when I went to look for you. And before I started a coaching training, I couldn't figure it out. And I was either going to walk away from it completely or somebody was going to help me find the answers. So that's where I was at that point. But I kind of like being in that elite group of massage therapists and the ones that stay in for a while, because we all have something in common right there. We all know how these things that we're saying, they're relatable to us. You know, everything that you're saying is relatable.
I love what you're saying about each person entering at the stage or the whatever their agenda is. So I mean, for some, it's like, I'm just looking for something to do. I just need a little bit of one of my family members said this recently. She was like, I just want something else, like something I can do on the weekends, or like the kids, are busy doing other things out with their friends. And so she was like, I'm just looking for maybe something a little do to bring a little extra money, like $800 a month, or, just something like that, just a compensation for her new car or to help pay for the kids' college. There's that. And then there's the nurse who wants to retire and really loves people and was always drawn to like hold their patients' feet or rub them on the head. They were just, so they just have that desire to serve to that capacity. And then there is the one who is like just a natural leader, like you two guys. You are both 5'1" in human design. You're both leaders. I'm a role model. I'm 6'2", for those who want to geek out with human design with us. But recognizing what is it for you. This is when you said that, this is what came up for me. The person who wants the more, like what you're talking about, they're like, I want to keep growing with this, but don't have access. There's no one doing it. That's why we want to start doing it. That's why we took on this mission. And it was like, wait, there's so much more we can do as massage therapists, as body workers, as mind body leaders. Like, let's just go do it. Let's show them. Let's be the example. That's what a role model does. A role model does it and it proves the potentiality, the possibility, and a leader helps lead others to it. And that's why we would make such an amazing team. Is you have, like, I had the vision, and then you guys are actually implementing and creating, and you're reaching the potential, the possibility. Monique, we could just share your story coming from, doing a bunch of different things in the salon. And now you're doing mind body coaching online and making so much more money than what you were doing working how many hours a week before compared to what you're doing now. You were working all of the time in several different areas.
Yeah, I was in 2 different buildings with 3 to 5 different modalities or service licenses. So yoga, barbering, aesthetics, massage, cosmetology, waxing, like all of that. And at least 40 hours a week, if not closer to 50, with the drives and the waiting for people. I was working on Sundays. I was working till 8 and 9 o'clock at night. I was doing yoga classes at 9 o'clock at night. It was like anything I could to just scrounge to make ends meet, because that belief system, Christy, was that I had to work so hard. And I was told all of my schoolings what I should expect my body to do, my hours to do, all of those things. So again, there was suggestible information that was given to me that I've got X good years, I've got X hours a week, and this is how I should hold my body, and this is all the rules for that. And I just finally said, I don't believe any of it. And I shut down everything, went completely online. I actually only have 3 clients that come in my office once a month or twice a month, depending on their series programs. And one of my clients is only a massage client. He comes in every other week and has been with me for a little over a year. 48 hours I've worked on him. And we have talked about mind-body connection. He was on his own journey, and his psoriasis is completely gone when the doctor said it was incurable.
Yeah.
Just from talking about the rage and the anxiety and where that came from, it was a very just conversation while he's on the table, and over and over again, it's been proven. And it's fascinating when someone can do that with their body.
Yes. And you just said
It's just-
something that, oh, I'm sorry. We're crossing
I know
over.
our internet crosses.
But you said something very profound that I want to shed light on. And that is, you said, I've worked with him for 48 hours. I think that's what you said. So in my mind, this is not something that was, even as an educator and doing massage for over 10 years, I was not thinking long-term clients. And that's powerful, because I had had so much exposure to so many massage therapists. I mean, I was in deep, and I still had not grasped that concept. Now, after doing coaching training and doing all of this work and diving into mind-body connection and taking a yoga teacher training as well, and learning about emotional processing and what it does within the physical body, what emotions can do to our physical body if they are not released. Long-term care is where it's at, but we don't come out of school embodying that or feeling powerful about that. And looking back, I sure didn't. And I didn't even know it was a thing. So, and that's something else that we need to shed light on as well, is not just doing the one-offs, like Kim would say, 30 minutes here, 30 minutes there, 30 minutes here.
This is something, when you said earlier about going into massage school and realizing like, this is not what I want. I am out of here. This is not what I thought it was. Like, some people will say that, and others are like, holy fuck, I found my people. This is my tribe. This is my thing, right? You'll have that. I found myself frustrated. I found myself, and Monique was in school with me, and I found myself like wanting to break out of this box. Like, I was like, there's so much more. Why? What? Like, I was very, what would you call it, Monique? Like, and this is her story. We were doing a trade, and she was like, what did you just do? She just felt this movement in her body. And I was just introducing craniosacral. I was really just bringing her into her body in presence in a very gentle way. And whatever happened in that moment is what led her to where she's sitting at today. Mm-hmm. And I felt frustrated because I wanted to share. I was there, like, I wanted to teach her aromatase training. Like, I wanted to teach all of the energy stuff and just all of this stuff that I had learned about mind body prior to that in my other life, in the body work, in the fitness, and with yoga, that kind of stuff, because that's what led me there. And it wasn't welcomed. It wasn't welcomed. And even when we did our presentation, there were people who went and had to go do laundry because they couldn't handle watching and listening to us, because we were going to bring the devil into the massage room. You know, it was like that. So I felt very much like I was compressed. I mean, it was really hard to have a full-on experience, and all of the opportunity that was available for the client, that was available for the therapist. And I mean, I wanted nothing more than to just sit and hold that space for that and just, you know, kind of dance in it. And it was like, I know, which felt very much like where I live in the South, and having so many people say, again, like, you can't empty the mind, you shouldn't meditate, you shouldn't, mindfulness is of the devil, and anytime you're not focused on Christ, then that means that you are an occultic, you are like, this is not how you do Christianity. And I'm not dogging that, I'm just saying it's a fact.
It
And
is.
I can prove it in so many ways. Like, I have audibles of people saying what the priest told them, or what the catechism teacher or their religion teacher, or what they're being told sitting in the pulpit, of what's right and what's wrong. And so being in the South, I think it is a little bit different. You know, being in a rural area
It is.
I do think we have a different challenge. And I'm finding it, you know, I don't know if it's like that in all massage therapy schools. Christy, you've been around more than we have.
I remember, yes, I have. And it's funny because, no judgment here, but I used to say, like, we don't have time for Reiki, especially when I was teaching. I was there. That's who I was. I was this. I would teach you how to do this and this. But I was against, I don't know, that might be a strong word, but I didn't teach about energy. And I talked about the chakras when I had to talk about the chakras. I talked about energy when I had to talk about the energy when we were being tested on it. But it was very clear that I was not that type of therapist. I really boxed myself in. But later on, it took years. And then I started realizing and getting more curious about mind body connection. And now, of course, I'm singing a totally different song. But, and again, with the South, I'm from Maryland originally. So I definitely know about culture change. Living somewhere like Louisiana and living somewhere like near Washington, D.C. And I've had people ask me more about yoga than so much more about massage. Is there a duality there, or is there, how do I feel about the philosophy of yoga, and is that change my view on Christianity? And I can answer 100% honestly, no. um, I'm a Jesus girl. I mean, that he's my guy. But I also believe in my body and that he created my body. So, he knows my heart and I know my heart, and I'm authentic and true to myself. And believe it or not, we have a nervous system and we were created that way. And stress does things to our body. So there are certain, to me, just, you can't argue with these truths about how the mind affects the body. And so my view on that is, yes, it is different in different schools. It is different in different states. So, but with that difference, also, I want to point this out, we evolve as therapists. So who I was 15 years ago is not who I am now. You know, I'm a lot more kumbaya now than I was 15 years ago. I was and you know what, Kim, though, it can make some people, if they don't know about it. And as massage therapists, when we come in, we think everybody knows, and the coach, everybody should know the basics of mind body connection. But like you said, some people don't even know how to be in their own bodies. So when they come to massage school, they could think of it like you go to church. And if, like, a northerner came down south, and when I came to church down south, people would run around the church. They go, woo, and then they would just run. I'm like, what in the world is going on here? And that could be like the same thing with massage therapy school. You show up and people are, like, oh man, this feels so good, or crying, or having an emotional release. And that could scare somebody because they haven't been exposed to it, and they have no idea that they're so disconnected from their own mind body. So it really is awareness, awareness and permission and just freedom.
I was so interested and so drawn into this scuba diving work, like this deeper beneath the surface, like more in that spiritual dancing in the shadows, stuff. And I did not like come from that. So it's not like it was taught to me, or someone damaged me, by pulling me over to their side, or those kinds of things which are said. It was just me. It was my own experience. And I thought, like, it was just so cool to talk about. I remember I'm doing nails, and one of my clients is coming out the tanning bed, and I'm like, did you know there was more than one Bible? Wow. I was just like, whoa, man. I mean, I was like, I'm so dumb. I can't believe I never knew this. And I mean, it was an instant, I'm praying for you, and how that was dangerous. And I was like, what? So that's really, and I was young, so I remember it creating this this guilt. That's bad. You shouldn't go and, try other things. And it's kind of like that with massage, right? Here is the signature massage. This is what you need to do to get this result. And it's like connecting the anatomy and, completely forgetting about the energy and the emotion and the circumstance that's going on in home, all of that stuff. Let's forget about that. And we're only here to work on this body. And then you'll go to the medical community and it's only this body. And let's put a Band-Aid. And again, it's missed, And then, as you said, Christy, there is the whole Reiki and the spiritual who's way up here, airy fairy, and cannot like support herself or, charge money, make a living, doesn't have any grounding, doesn't have a way to. So all of those are just extremes. And according to Gene Keys, I am all about it. Gene Keys and human design, I'm all about extremes. I'm 15.2 3 times. That is pretty extreme. And I create conflict to get resolution. So guess what? Like this conversation, the conversation about yoga, the conversation about massage, about energy, about healing, about spirituality, about you don't have to be a doctor. You don't have to have a label. You don't have to have a Jesus robe. You don't have to be ordained by the church. The way I see it, that was never the gospel. The gospel embodied is that you have it within yourself. That is the teachings of Christ. And that little red Bible from 4th or 5th grade raised me. Like it is a part of me. I was very young whenever I started integrating that in my life. And so it is who I am. It is part of my belief system. It was not taught by an outside source. I wasn't conditioned by like having been brought to church and following this routine and this structure. That was not a part of my life. This is what I experienced through my own experience. Would you guys be able to relate to that?
Absolutely. Like I said, I've come so far within that component of healing or massage therapy. And again, just as I say the word healing, that wasn't a word I used back then with massage. So again, I really want to shed light that we evolve as massage therapists, and we're not the same when we come out of school. At school, it's very technical, but I feel like we could go to school for years and years just to get to the level of awareness that we're at right now, and that took me over 10 years to get to, which is really fascinating. I think it's fascinating. And I love that. And because I know what was happening to me when I came to you, I was very frustrated and completely confused, and I could not get clarity of where I was going to go next. And it was black and white for me. I was like, I'm going to completely step into something new in the massage therapy world, or I'm walking away, because this constantly looking for something and not being able to find it is really driving me crazy. And it's a huge waste of my time, and I wasn't getting anywhere. So I don't know if I'm answering your question or not, but I'm just trying to get to that. It's not always black and white. And I wish I would. And we can also, you know what, we can meet other massage therapists who we really admire, and they can say something about energy work, and we're like, oh, okay, energy work must be stupid. I mean, I've been there, So
Sucks to be on the other side of it, because
yeah,
it
does.
is so powerful and so
Yes.
expansive and so healing and nurturing to really come to wholeness within yourself, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. And anytime a school or a system or a project or a belief separates you from the parts of yourself that make you whole, it doesn't feel good. And I remember, of course, I didn't have the confidence and thinking they must be right. Of course, who am I, dumb little girl from Louisiana? I couldn't have possibly figured this out on my own, right? All of that stuff would come into my head, and it's like, I'm wrong, I'm bad, I'm making trouble. That conflict is making trouble. And I remember like really hiding a lot of it, but then I got sick. Like I hid my spiritual gifts. I hid my emotional gifts. I completely hid all of that. The love for like understanding Gene Keys and human design and astrology and the way that the world works. Like I was like, gotta hide all that shit. Can't be talking about any of that stuff. back in the day, even talking about chakras, which now it's 9 body centers. It's not even like we've even moved beyond that. There's a lot of holding on to that, but that is long gone. It's just a different conversation being had now. And so me even saying that right now, I can feel the shame flush. Like, who the hell am I to say that? Right. But it's like, who am I not to explain my own experience or share my own experience? But through human design and working with mentors and being a 6'2" off the roof, I've been challenged with, let's just drop the experience into the body where my emotional authority is and allow it to synchronize and to become, and me not to go out and share unless I'm asked. And I've been practicing that, pulling back, being less out there, being less exposed, and just being. And then I don't run into those brick walls of people not wanting to hear or receive what I have. And those who want it can come and ask for it. And then I can respond.
Yes. And when that happens, when they are coming to you, you're going to tap in to your most authentic and highest self as far as giving your gifts. You know what I mean?
Bulldozing, right? Instead
of
in bulk. I mean, I was just like, but I mean, I was so excited, guys. I was suicidal for most of my life. Like, I was angry about being here. The fact that I figured out how to want to live is huge. And so there was so much emotional trauma buried in my body. There was so much story. There was so much being left out, abandonment, rejection, being misunderstood, being a, visionary. I look at that map right there and I'm looking at humanity, like being a visionary for the generations to come. And this is who I am. This is my identity as in this lifetime. Like, this is who I am. And me hiding the very essence of my being led me to 15 surgeries, 24 years of medication, like depression diagnosis. And I mean, lots and lots of medical stuff that I'm completely recovered from, but I am an empty vessel when it comes to elective body parts. Like, they just took them out. They just took them out, buried them, threw them in the trash. Like, you don't need that. You don't need an appendix. You don't need tonsils. You don't need your female organs. Who needs, what do you call those things?
Ovaries.
Ovaries. You don't need ovaries. No big deal.
Yeah, not me. Me either.
I mean, you don't need breast. You don't need any of that stuff. I have 2 kidneys and a spleen. That's what's elective. I could give away, and I almost gave my dad 1 kidney.
Rock on. Oh my goodness.
But I mean, you can live without other parts, but you have to put a bag or whatever. You can cut pieces out. But here's the thing. If you're being who you are and your body is aligned with your soul and your mission and your total body being, then it's not gonna have dis-ease, illness, that disconnection. And
everyone will not want to come with you, and that's okay.
It wasn't okay.
I know, but it is to me.
Because Christy had to sit with me and let me hash this out because it was not okay. I'm a no child left behind person.
I get that, but you don't want to grab the child and, handcuff yourself to the child because the child's pulling back and they're not ready and it's slowing you down.
Or they don't want it. Yeah.
Or they don't want it, or they don't believe in it. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay.
But I'm so committed. And in my chart, you can see, like, I have a full on gate of commitment. And so when I say yes, someone comes to me and they're like, this is what I want to do. Like the vision board you showed me, Christy, your little sticky things. And I said, oh yeah, let's go do it. What happened in that moment is I completely committed. I do not give up on my clients' beliefs. Have you ever heard me give up on one of my clients' beliefs? No. Whether they're there or not, because some of them are not there anymore. And I'm still like holding their belief, like still holding on. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. But I think I've said this recently, for us to keep reaching that higher calling or that digging deep that you like to go, that you have to be able to let some things go so someone else can step into it. We got to keep passing the torch. We got to keep passing the torch, especially through massage therapy, because what I don't want is what I've seen for so many years is for people to leave the industry without having been completely enlightened with the choices that they really have, with what they want to do in this field. And again, I've said this before, and I talked to someone yesterday who had a really good vision, or just her gifts. It wasn't a niche. It was her story and the kind of client she wanted to work with. I'm like, you could absolutely do this. So unless something's illegal and you have an idea about massage therapy, if it's not illegal, you can do it. And if you don't believe that, you need to call one of us, and we will listen to you and tell you our honest opinion on whether it's possible or not. But in this field, there is unlimited possibility, but you can't break the law and you can't hurt anybody. If that's it, if it doesn't do those things, you can make it work and you can be happy doing it.
I think the limitations come from someone said you can't do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's where it comes from. Because
Sure.
I mean, even for myself, like I can't do this. I can't have a coach certification. I can't, who am I to teach mind body healing? Who, you know, any of that stuff. And I'm like, actually, I can.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I've been said, is that in your scope of practice? And I'm like, yes, it is. So, you know, it is, it's that rule and regulation, and that just, it's just this way, the way that we were taught. And I think it puts some blinders, you know, in,
Yeah.
and, you know, layered up with some conditioning
Mhm.
and some beliefs and some stories, it creates the fear and the block to not even attempt it because it's so wild or out there, or, you
Yeah,
know,
and-
it's like, wait a minute, maybe it's not wild.
Mhm.
And the block is that you already had the belief and they confirmed it.
Mhm.
That's the block. So people who are like, you got to get this block, you got to go get this out of me, you got to go do you, because there is an addiction to healing. There is an addiction to this work where
Yes.
that liberation feels so good. And if I didn't watch it, I would have people putting me on pedestals. I would be their guru. I would be their band-aid. I'd be their 911. Because that happened at the beginning.
Yes.
It happened a lot. And I was there because I was so committed. And Monique, you know that it was like anytime call, do, like we would just continue working through this. And then I realized, like, hold on. I started to recognize that it was just the mind. The mind wanted, like, and really the next step was to take action. But the mind wanted to keep digging and keep going so that they didn't have to take action. And so it creates this drama. And I had to like really step back and allow my client to get some, like, to create this distance between, so that they could see it, you know, because
Yes.
it's just like with Jesus, not like Jesus is not the healer. Jesus takes us to the healer that is within ourselves. It's the same consciousness that is going through us.
Yes.
That's the teaching. That's the embodied gospel. It's whenever you see the gospel from the perception that it was taught or what they were speaking about. But when we come from a childlike perspective and it hasn't evolved, we don't have that understanding. We're talking a different language. So that's where that dissonance and that fear is coming from when it comes from religion, is the perception of the seer is different. And so we're talking about heaven and hell. One person is talking about a fire beneath the ground. And another person is talking about, oh, wait, actually suffering is within myself. This is hell. Mm-hmm. Being disconnected from God, being disconnected from myself, being disconnected from people, being displeased, being judgmental, right? Judging and comparing, like all of that stuff is creating suffering. And that is hell. I was in hell for many, many years.
I'm going to tell a little connecting story about that in a second. But first, I want to say that when you were talking about the boundaries, that you have to be really careful. That's what I was hearing anyway, that you have to be careful with your boundaries when talking about this kind of work with your clients, especially, so you don't take on this, they put you up on a pedestal and they'll do something just because it's you saying it. So that's that whole, when we were massage therapists, we learned about this in school, about transference and countertransference. Clients can attach feelings to us and think of us, they put us up on a pedestal and they think that we know everything. And so it's, or we could do that to we have to be careful too, that we don't do that to our clients. So maybe putting them in positions that they really, maybe they're not interested in the healing part or the mind-body connection.
Yeah,
I mean,
they just want to be touched.
They just want to be touched. And so we have to be really careful about that, because if we're not, they'll start. What happens if you keep doing something that you really don't want to do? What's the word? Starts with an R. resentment. And they will
Correct.
resent us. They will resent us, or we will resent
Regret.
ourselves because we are doing things for clients that don't want it. So it really is a very,
That was me. That was
but
me.
no
I'm like,
more.
everybody wants this. Everyone wants to feel liberated. Everyone
Yes.
wants to feel whole and happy and healthy and wealthy. And
Yes.
everyone wants that.
Yes.
Why wouldn't they want that? And
Yes.
to find out they don't.
I just thought of a Van Halen
They
song
don't.
from the
They don't.
80s. A Van Halen song from the 80s was "Everybody Wants Some, I Want Some Too." Remember? Yeah. That's Kim's
Yeah.
song. Everybody wants some. And they're like, no, I really don't want it.
Oh, I'm listening. This has changed. This is game changer for me. You know, coming like whenever I realized that, and really not being that wrecking ball and recognizing like the 59, my 59-6 gate is that energy aura to ripper. Like I can go in and create a mess really fast, and then everything just starts falling apart and cracks them open. And I have to be careful with how I handle that, because everybody doesn't want what I envision, what I see, because I can see potential and possibility. You guys know that. And I don't let that shit go, which is what makes it so painful because I'm like, no, wait, get over here. Let's go do this. Like, so for the person who just wants to be touched, we can still teach that massage therapist how to make more money, and how they don't have to do it in the way that they've been doing it. That's so hard. And they're like, oh my God, how am I ever going to retire? I'm going to have to, you know, only have so many years to do this. I was told it takes 4 years to build your practice to a steady flow, and then 3 more years and you'll be burnt out. That's what I was taught.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty much the constant flow of what it looks like. And then you'll have to go do these like cupping and these other things to make money so that you're not using your hands. You know, so many people were contacting me for aroma touch training because of that. They wanted to know how to do aroma touch for their clients so they wouldn't have to work so hard as massage therapists. And I was like, okay, I love that. And I thought, this is it. That was my umbrella. I was going to teach aroma touch. I was going to travel the world. I was going to be completely satisfied with that because I was able to teach them emotional resilience, right? Emotional healing. I was able to teach them all of that and how to bring it to their clients. Well, lo and behold, they all intellectually understood. They did not viscerally understand.
Right.
And so they couldn't put it together. And then that's when I came up with the training, and they like how to come up with their signature massage, and then how to turn that into a package, and how to work with less, more, less, more deep clients kind of thing. So instead of doing these one-off sessions, you're actually working with 10 clients who are committed, and you're doing it for a certain amount of time. And I know to a massage therapist that sounds foreign, and they're like, there's no way, no one's going to buy that, no one's going to do that. Monique, I'm proof. You're proof. Can you prove it? We can prove it's possible.
Yes.
And they get amazing results.
Yes. And you're super fulfilled as a therapist.
Yeah, I had other therapists say, I'd love to be a fly on the wall when you ask them those questions. Like, they couldn't even understand how I said, I'd like to see you back in next week. Like, that's literally all I said. I'd like to see you back next week. I'd really like to put you on a 6-week program, and let's just see if we can work on the shoulder. And the client was like, yeah, no one's ever said that before. And I was like, this is what I want you to do at home. These are the stretches. And hey, heads up, if you're interested, here is some mind-body information. This is what we hold in the shoulders. Let me share it with you for free. And when they read it, they would be like, oh, emotions are in my shoulders. Oh, yes, put me next week. Thank you.
Yeah. So
it's a no-brainer. Like, if someone would have told me that, I'd have been like, here's all my money, sign me up, fix me, help me, show me what to do.
Monique,
I was at that point.
I'm echoing. I'm sorry. It's you got to be your internet, because it's when both of us are talking to you. So it's got a little delay, but I apologize. I'm not being rude. I don't mean to cut you out. It's just mine's quicker. So the way I came up with that, because that is an original concept, I couldn't find it. I was coming in as a practitioner, and it's what I needed and I wanted. And I was shifting through some big things, and I wanted the physical help to move it through my body, because I was having like, it was materializing in my physical body. And I had the awareness and the understanding. And so I was looking for a practitioner. I wanted to go the same exact time every single week. And I wanted to work through this as I was working through it myself, and just them help do it. And I could not find the person. And so I went through several therapists, and it was the same thing. It was like, they really didn't want to book that far out because I don't want, in case nobody else comes that day, I don't want. So it's like the mindset of the business is so screwed up. And I was like, we got to teach this stuff. Hold on. This is a lucrative business. You just don't have business training. And that's what we're here to teach. It's like, we're going to teach that integration of the mind body connection, teaching business, signature packaging, how to make more money, knowing where your next client is coming from, not doing one-offs, but having an actual package. We call a container. This is what Christy came to me for. She was like, that word container, I don't have a container. How do I get all this brilliance out in the world? I don't have a way to deliver it where my client can get the results that they actually want. And it's because the massage therapist believes they'll only come when they're in pain. They'll only come when it's a special occasion. And so the work has to happen in the massage therapist first. And that's the work that we do here, is we completely decondition, show you unlearn what you think is true. And then we plant seeds of possibility, potentiality. And then we take the steps to integrate that.
It's amazing the level of work that we have to do to unlearn our belief system. But once you do it, and once you get a glimpse of it, that's it. The door has been opened and you cannot ignore it. And like I said, people will either jump on board with this or they won't. I couldn't stop searching. So, and Monique, and look at us here. And there's many others, within the community that you've built, Kim. So we know this is a thing. This is not a coincidence. This is not just us. We're not the unicorns. We just have to go find the other unicorns.
It feels way better having now.
Oh,
but
yeah.
those first few years, it did not feel good. It did.
Yeah.
It was very hard. Like having a belief and a passion that was so strong that it was bigger than me, and then not having believers or anyone else who are on board or anyone else accepting or like that. I could still cry because it was so isolating and defeating and frustrating. And
yeah,
that's why I was like suicidal. It's like, I can't do what I'm here to do. It's not being received. I'm not being received. It was so painful. And I didn't know how to do it. And it's, what changed things is the online world opened up. And it's still true that it is not available here. It is still true. That is. And it is still painful. Matter of fact, there was a conversation in our local business group. And I was like, hey, I'd be willing to meet once a month and do some entrepreneur. Let's just get together and kind of hash things out. And there's like, oh, we actually have this. And it goes right back to the systems. And there's only certain people who can play that role. And you don't fit in there. And it's, it's kind of like that. I'm like, it hit me right in my gut yesterday. And I was like, oh, here it is again. And I don't ever want to go back to that. I don't ever want to go back to having to stifle what is my God-given gift to contribute to the world and turn it off because someone is not approving or it's not the right label or they can't see what I see. I'm not going to apologize for the vision that's been planted inside of me ever again.
I love that. That's great.
Please
And
don't.
and that's what you're shining a light on, to help others embody that as well.
Yeah, because it's in all of us.
Yes, it is. I want to tell a quick little connecting story. When you were talking about, you've brought up Jesus quite a lot. It's Sunday. I feel like I'm at church today, so this is great. But you're talking about it's within us. You said when Jesus was the healer, he was showing us the healer within. And I thought of the story of the Jesus asleep on the boat in the ocean or wherever it was, or the sea, and a storm came and Jesus was asleep on the boat, and the disciples, they were freaking out because they're like, we're gonna die, and they're holding onto the boat, and it was just chaos. And all of a sudden they saw Jesus walking on the water, and they were like, oh my goodness, and they were just overcome. And Jesus said to Peter, come meet me. And he held out his hand, and Peter got out of the boat and he was walking on water. And then he got in his head and he started to sink, and he's like, Lord, Lord. And Jesus was like, why didn't you believe? Why did you doubt? And doesn't that just give you life when you hear that? It's when you doubt, don't go there. When you believe in yourself, anything is possible. But it's what our minds can do. Very powerful.
Because it's so much more than us.
Yes.
Like this vehicle, we landed in this vehicle, but our consciousness can do anything.
Yes. Yes.
We
and
limit
again,
ourselves through the mind.
Yeah. And that's, again, that sometimes that takes people time to transition to even wanting to hear that conversation. And I think I've realized that, and that's okay. They'll be there when they're ready.
Well, whoever needs to hear it will. That's where I'm at. I'm just like, it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yes.
I prefer intimate groups anyway.
Me too.
Deep, meaningful conversations. And I love the retreats that we do and all the kumbaya that we do. And I love that all of us have healed bodies. It was like, we feel amazing and we're liberated, and we can be the example for those who want it. And it's okay for those who are more intellectual and more mental and who are not interested, that don't want their body to be a part of their life. That's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's okay.
Yes. Good stuff.
So good.
All right. We are a little over the hour. So my apologies, but we should do more of the conversation for the mind body conversations.
Yes.
I know we have a podcast that we want to do with 4 or 5 of you as massage therapists and just kind of do groups like this, but it's been kind of tough getting our schedules together, but y'all can look forward to that coming. Monique, do you have anything to add?
Just kind of recap everything. This is just an extra way. It's just another modality. It's, one of the many, many ways we can get to homeostasis and healing and balance inside of us. And I think for me, this has been the easiest method to use. It's really locked in all of the stuff that I already knew. And so again, I didn't lose anything because we were able to integrate all of those modalities and merge these timelines and these experiences in life. And, I am so grateful for the nervous system work that I did learn in massage school, because for me, that was the moment that I just kind of fell in love with this work. It was like, oh, we can feel this balance in our body that I don't know that I've ever felt before. I don't know that I ever experienced that type of calmness and peace inside, because I was in adrenal fatigue and my internal body was just vibrating for years. And so, to think about trembling for years and then just to be in this space of like, whoa, it really was this moment that like I melted into my body and I was able to feel things differently. And that is what I want to share with people, because it was this cocooning, this peaceful, this loving thing that I gave myself that I didn't even know I had in me. So returning back to that part of myself that had been shut off for so long. And once we cracked that open, I just started experiencing more and more and more. It just got richer and richer and richer and deeper and deeper and deeper, not scarier, which is what I thought.
I think it's because like the experience creates the imprint, and now it's a possibility to your mind. So without that actual hands-on experience where you had a visceral experience in the nervous system, and so this is what we want to share with massage therapists. You can give your client this experience as you're doing this work, and then you can bring in the mind-body coaching or the mind-body understanding, and it doesn't all have to be happening on the massage table after that. And that's what we want to share with you, is we can expand beyond the hands-on. and still be doing massage therapy work, still be doing mind body healing. I love that you shared that, Monique. It is the ticket to homeostasis, is understanding and getting beyond that chatty mind and dropping into the body, dropping into the other systems that are unconscious and subconsciously running. All right, we're gonna have to end it because I'm over time. But thank you for adding that on, Christy. Any last minute anything before we?
No, I want to thank Monique for sharing it in that way and for saying that word homeostasis, because I know that that's a word that every single massage therapist in the world knows. And you have created something very, I'll say it's unique, but I know that I feel a revolution. So I know that kind of work is going to become even more and more requested and sought out. And I encourage all massage therapists who are watching this, if you feel that pull in that call, I know it won't be everyone, please get in contact with us and let's work together.
Yeah, what Monique is doing, like the generational stuff blows my mind. Like it's not just the parent, but it's the son, it's the partner, it's like generations. So I want to just hold that honor and space, of that in the moment, because that's the hard work, is we are standing in the gap of generational conditioning. We're standing in the gap of limiting beliefs. We're standing in the gap of religious dogma, societal conditioning. And so I just want to thank you both for the work you're doing, that you're offering your clients, the work you've done on yourself that improves our world, which improves our life. And it's also fun to hang out with other people.
Kim, a special thank you for holding space and having the vision for all of us. Yes, because I'm not a vision girl. And so I'm thankful that I've finally couldn't get you out of my head.
Same.
All right, my friends, that's what we have for you this week. So I will post everyone's contact info in the links below.